beautiful souls. Welcome back. I am literally going to let spirit drive. I know a lot about energy and healing energy and frequencies, but not even 1 iota of what the universe has to share with us. So my thought on this is that I would rather allow my daughter and your loved ones and our guides, and Ram Dass is putting his hand up, to teach us about those things so that we can be students, so that we can learn, so that we can master our own energy. Because when you've mastered your own energy, it does not matter what frequency you may walk into, because you will be able to maintain your high frequency or high vibration that happens in your energy. So you will no longer be able to be entrained by lower dense negative vibrational energies, is what Ram Dass is saying. That's correct. So you will no longer be able to be entrained by other frequencies. I'm hearing the term spiritually sovereign. I just recently watched somebody who was talking about spiritual sovereignty. The information that she had researched and shared was extremely valuable to me personally, not because I'm reading a book to understand it or because what she's saying is true. It makes sense to me based on my actual experiences with spirit, with light spheres of consciousness and dark spheres of consciousness, in terms of engaging with energy on all levels, whether they've been low frequencies and extremely high frequencies, the differences between how they feel. So my experience allows me to take information and say, what does that feel like in terms of spirit, energy, frequency, knowing, and how do I break that down into something that makes logical sense? Logical sense so that we can understand it. So it's taking the experience, breaking down the steps of the experience that made it that experience, and then rebuilding a new staircase to create a sphere around it, so that if that experience is negative, we now have the awareness and the information to be able to put it into context, to shield our energy, to maintain our sovereignty of thought, of emotions, removing all others from it. That doesn't mean we don't empathize. That doesn't mean we don't love people. That doesn't mean we don't support them and hold space for them when they're going through things. It simply means that you do not bear a burden that is not yours. So for example, I'm seeing the story of Christ on the cross. The energy of Jesus, or the story of Jesus, or the archetype of Jesus is saying, I want you to look at me on the cross and recognize that that is a reflection of you. So for example, going your own way, doing your own thing, being persecuted for shining light or lifting people up when all they do is stamp on you, all of those things. It's like being nailed to the cross. That reflection of that story of Jesus being nailed to a cross. Christ consciousness is a reflection. That's a reflection of you. You are divinity too. I am light. I am truth. I am the truth, the way, and the light is how I hear it from spirit. So it's almost like, look at that context of, that is a reflection of you. I lived the life that you did in terms of persecution, in terms of being nailed to the cross, despite the fact that I am only love, despite the fact that I'm showing you how to evolve, that I'm spreading light or high vibrational frequencies through consciousness. Look at that as a reflection. And now I'm seeing taking you down off of the cross. Let's take you down off of the cross. You don't have to sacrifice. Christ consciousness no longer needs to sacrifice, if that makes any sense. I'm not sure why it's coming through in that context. I trust that it is indeed for somebody needs to hear it in that context, perhaps. So a lot of times when I'm doing sessions and readings, I'll have the energy of Christ consciousness step in, or the persona of Jesus come in, depending on the person and what their beliefs align with, is who shows up for them in a way that they can resonate with. So sometimes I will see the energy of Jesus washing the feet of the person sitting in front of me. So it's almost like washing your feet, because not only am I a reflection of the persecution that you've experienced, I am also a reflection of the power that lies within you. I am both and. You are both and. You've experienced both. You've experienced the persecution. It is now time to experience the empowerment of your I am presence and remember who you are. That is the era of Christ consciousness. It's not about worship. It's not about worshiping somebody else and having a savior necessarily. It's actually about you seeing that you are the reflection of divinity. You have been persecuted. Divinity has been persecuted. It has been stamped down, bound, chained. Not only is the story of me being nailed to the cross used as a way to look to the Savior, it's also been misused because I am also a reflection of how you've been persecuted and your experience. But more importantly, I am a reflection of the I am presence that resides in you too. You can heal anything in you when you empower yourself with your I am presence, which is the era of Christ consciousness that it's already begun, is what I'm hearing. It is not about worshiping somebody else. It is not about following somebody else. It's about calling back all of the pieces and parts of you and the places and the experiences that told you that you were not enough, that you were not worthy, that you have to self-sacrifice in order for other people to succeed. That is not the case. So we are in an era of Christ consciousness that actually means I am a reflection of the persecution that you have experienced. I am also a reflection of the I am presence and the power that resides within you. And the song playing is, but only if you know. So if you wondered why that has been stripped away, conditioned out of us, it is because if we don't know we are that powerful, how can the human experience evolve out of suffering? Welcome to the era of Christ consciousness. It is not about worshiping a God. It is about you recognizing that the one infinite creator resides in you, and that is unconditional love. That is the power to heal the mind, the body, and the spirit, that you can create a world in you, of you, and around you that is just divinity. That is who you are. The era of Christ consciousness is a coming into the embodiment of that Christ energy of who you are. Yes, you are worthy. Yes, this is why you feel the way you feel when you are around your loved ones. That's how you know that it's the right spirit, the right vibrational spirit for you, is if it feels light, if it feels like unconditional love, if it feels like there are no chains anymore, I guess you could say. The era of Christ consciousness is not about worshiping a religion. It's not about worshiping man's rules and regulations about religion and how it should be and how to follow God. It's recognizing the Christ consciousness of, I have been persecuted. I have had my I am stripped away from me, and now I'm calling it back. So I'm literally seeing the image of you being taken off the cross. And I'm saying you specifically because this is for more than one person. This is clearly a part of what needs to be relayed both in communities, in spiritual communities. It's calling back the I am presence. It does not come from ego. It does not come from a hierarchy of, you have to follow all these rules. And when you get to this level, you get to that level. It's literally about calling back your I am presence and your power and recognizing your power of your thoughts, your body, your energy, because everything is energy, including your I am presence, which is the most powerful energy that ever existed and is existence in and of itself.